Hello good people, welcome back. On today's video we will be looking at GIMP. This tutorial is meant for beginners in case you haven't had any experience with GIMP or you haven't used GIMP before. If you have some knowledge in GIMP and you need more advanced courses, please still follow me because I'll be making more videos on more advanced features that you can find in GIMP. And then before I start, I need to mention that GIMP is completely free. You don't have to pay a penny to use GIMP, but you can also donate to them so that they can continue the development. So GIMP is amazing, so I think they deserve it. Okay, so to get started, first when you open GIMP, you will have an interface that looks similar to this one. Mine looks a little different at the moment because I have customized so many parts of it. But if you open GIMP, there are things that will be somewhere. They will be where they are supposed to be, like the top, this side, this top here will be there. Also, this dock will be there, and the brushes might be there or might not be there. But I'm going to close mine because if they are too distracting, I don't want to keep you distracted, so I'm gonna get away with that as well. And now I have something like looks like a blank face, but I know you have something like this and it's okay. The first step that I need to teach you is how to open a file on an image or to open a workspace. To do that, just go to file and you will see several options here like new, create, open as a layer, open location, open recent. Others will be blank because they are not active at this moment. They are inactive. To use the correct one because they are not usable at this stage. You also have this one and it's quit if you want to cross GIMP completely. We don't want to do that right now. We just want to open create new. The shortcut to that is Ctrl+N. You can also open an image. You can also open as a layer. If you open as an image, it will not create a layer, but if you want to open as a layer, especially if you have another image opened, it will open and stack them in layers. Open location, not very important. Open recent simply means it will open the images you had used just recently. So now I'm just gonna go with the first one, which is Ctrl+N or just create new, and it open a new workspace, a new window will pop up like that one, and here you can customize the size of your image or the size of your workspace. Let's say you are creating something for maybe a wallpaper or maybe you are creating a poster. First you have to have the dimensions in hand, and so that you can come and fill them here. Right now I'm just gonna go with 1920 width and 1080 height because I like it, and they're in pixels, and then I'm just gonna click OK. Now I'll have something like this. This is the workspace I have created, and the area where you are supposed to enter your image or draw your artwork is the white part. The other areas that are gray, they are just the workspace. So if you put something inside, it will be outside the workspace. So you have to put everything inside your canvas, which is white. Now we have been able to create a new document or open a new document or open a new image. Now let's talk about the other features that you have here. Alright, right now what you see on this side, these are brushes, which I think I wanted to delete them, but I don't know if I should do that at this moment, but I will show you something. Okay. Down here you can see I have something written background. This is the layer, and here you have the layer panel. The layer panel is where your layers are stacked. For example, I can create a new layer down here, but I don't want to talk about layers. I just want to talk about these docs. I will talk about layers after I talk about the dock here. What we have here are very important features that you will find in GIMP, and these are the ones that you'll be using most of the times, and there are few because they are minimized, but there are more under them. Like for example, the first one only has two options, and one of them is move layer selection or other selection and other objects, or maybe align. For example, I can move, which is the shortcut that is M, and how I've opened this one is right click on my mouse and I have them. Like now I can move my cursor elsewhere and they will be stuck on my image, but if I click somewhere they will disappear. So I just right click, and I have two options here. One is move, and the other one is align. To demonstrate this, allow me to open an image. I had already opened an image in GIMP. I hand this image. Okay, maybe I don't know if I can copy it. Let me see if it will be open on this other. I can just use it, Control V. Okay, perfect. I know the image is excessively big. That's why you can see it's highlighted and it's so big. It filled the area and went out. But now let's talk about these features. The first one is move. If I select move, which is shortcut to that is M, I can move this. I can move this like that. Then okay, the next step, that's move. The other feature is align, but we will talk about that later when we have multiple items. Let's talk about, I will skip that, but I want us to resize this image. And to resize in GIMP is called scale, and there is a feature just here, this one, and it has several features. We can unify, transform, we can rotate, we can scale, we can share, we can flip, we can perspective warp, we can 3D transform, and we can handle transform. Now for the reason why I've skipped the other one is because first I want us to scale this image to fit in the canvas, and the shortcut that is Shift plus S, or just go to here and then select scale, and then click on the image. You see some handles here. The side ones are to scale the image, but the center one you can use it to move as well, so that you can see where you're scaling. Then I will just come on top here and scale to the level I want, like that. I'm gonna go ahead and scale it further, and then I will move it to the middle like that. That's how you scale. Okay, now once you scale, there's something you need to know. Actually, let me make it fit in the canvas, the height, like that. So once you scale it, you have to click. You can reset. When you reset, you will reset it to where it was. You can also readjust this to just take it back to the one step before, or you can just click on scale and that will be it. So go ahead and click scale, and GIMP will scale it, and it will be like that. Now okay, so that's how you scale items on or images on GIMP. Now right here, when I paste in this image on the layers panel, there are two things that happened. We have, and they are in green, two lights bumps or light symbols. Green light symbols popped up, or they became active. One is you can create this, you can make those to a layer, or you can make it to a floating layer, but I want us to make it a layer, so I'll just go ahead and click create it a layer, and boom, now I have two layers, as you can see. So immediately when you open an image, you either set it as a layer or a floating layer. Now I have two layers. The first one is the background, which I can switch off and on by using this eye symbol just on the left, just beside the layer. And I can also switch on and off the image, so you can see them. And that's the image we have just pasted, and the other one is the background. Okay, so let's keep going. Alright, so now the next thing we have is the rectangle select and ellipse select. Let's say I want to select something here, and I can use the rectangle and select like that. Now, something you will realize that once I select, I can also scale this to wherever I want, make it bigger, make it smaller. But now the selected part is this part here. So for you to know if the selection is active, I will show you with a more advanced feature. I'll come here to image, then I will go to what do I want to use to prove. Okay, actually I would do what will I do? What should I do? Okay, I want to show you how select works, how active the selection is. Maybe I can use, okay, let me use colors, then go to hue and saturation. Using hue and saturation, since this is the only selected part, I can change the color of it by increasing the hue like that. maybe the right two, but no, it's better like that. So you see, the only selected part is the one that is changing. So that's what work of the select rectangle select. You just select a rectangle shape selection, and once you take something, you can also copy it, change the color. So because I can also copy, then we not working, which is okay. Let me see if you can copy. Okay, yeah, that worked. Once you I used Control C to copy, and then I will show you what I copied here by coming back to move, and that's the pathway selected. Okay, the other thing is we can also, the next one is eclipse select. Is just a circle. Eclipse means a circle, and we can go ahead and copy the area, then V, and boom, here it is. So that's the work of select rectangle and eclipse select. Is you just select a part of the image. Maybe you want to change it individually, or maybe you want to copy it, or whatever you want to do, you just select that part. One thing you need to know, whatever you need to do in GIMP, you have to have the functionality activated on the side. That's why you see when I want to move, I was here, but I was in rectangle eclipse, but I wanted to move this. Right now I can't move. I will select. So to move, I have to come back to the first icon here and select move, which is the first one, and now I can move. So you have to have the functionality activated by selecting it first. Otherwise, you will have a lot of mess when you're working and to waste your lot of time. So make sure that the functionality you want to do is the one which is active on this block. The next one is free select, scissors select, and foreground select. I will talk about scissors. This one is you just create some. Let me be more accurate. Control Z, Control Z. Okay, let's just do this. Let's do this. Let's start here, 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 here. Then connect the dots, and that's the only part that will be selected. So this one is more flexible. You just highlight the area or just draw around the area you want to select and select it. For instance, this one I will just go ahead and copy the part where I have selected, then Control V, and then boom, I also go back to move, and then I have that part too that I selected. So that's the scissor select, where you will be able to select custom shape or custom area. Okay, the other one that we have here is scissor. No, sorry, we didn't finish select, so now we do scissors, which is almost similar, but scissors is more hectic if you ask me. So I don't prefer this feature. I would not ask anyone to use it because it's more stubborn. Please don't use it. Okay, so I'm going and selecting. Sorry. Okay, so the selected part, then I'm gonna ahead and copy, then pin, and this is the part I selected here, and boom, that you see it now. I want to show you something. When I used the scissor select, okay, when I used free hand select, the lines were more straight and sharp, but when you use scissors, it's more like wobbly, so it's not perfect. It's more like yeah, it's a wobbly line, which is so this one selects itself automatically, and it's more stubborn. So if you want to select something with sharp edges or sharp lines, you just use freehand, or if you want to something like this, which is more wobbly or then sharp and has length, you use scissors. The other one is foreground, and foreground we can, it's like it just select what is in front. which is on the foreground, because we have the background, which is this one, and then we have the foreground, and the foreground is the image we have here. So whatever is on the top is the foreground, and you just select it. That's a more advanced feature, and you don't be using it if you are a beginner. So we're gonna skip that for now and go to this to another. Select by color, or you can also select fuzzy select. Fuzzy select also selects by color, like depend with the pixels. The more it, for example, okay, so right now if you look at the pixels here, these are more darker than this one. So these are two different color pixels, and if I select here, we will go to the first image and maybe select here. You will see I'll be able to select only where it's more light yellow, but if I want the bland yellow, I'll just go ahead and click that area. That's the work of the fuzzy. They select according to the strength of the color pixels you want to select. Color select is also almost similar, but this one now selects in terms of color. So what it does is that fuzzy select selects only pixels, neighboring pixels, which have the same almost similar color pixels. But what color select does, it selects all pixels that have the same color. For example, you can see it selected almost the entire image. The lines that you are seeing here, that's where the selection is, and what I have done is I have selected all the areas that have the same color. So that's the difference between fuzzy and color select. Fuzzy select only neighboring pixels which have almost similar or have similar color pixels, but fuzzy select color select all pixels that have the same color all around the image, not just the neighboring ones. So that's the difference. Remember that. Okay, the next thing that we need to do, is go to the next feature here, which is, okay, let's first deselect none. Okay, so the next feature here that we have on this dock is crop, and that is when you want to crop something. Maybe you want to crop this image. So once you select crop, which is the only feature on that icon, and then click on the image, maybe I want to crop just this part, and then I'll go ahead and click enter on my keyboard, and boom, everything will be cropped, which is now very, very nice, because now it crops everything and you're just left with that part. I use this when maybe I'm lazy and I want to be fast, because if I export this, the only thing I will have saved in my computer. So if I'm lazy and I don't want to delete everything, I just crop everything and leave the only space I want. That's the work of crop. Actually, it works better if you only have one image, but we don't want that, so Ctrl+N to undo. Okay, so the next feature here we have is, we used one of these features, and that was scale. And like we said, it's how you want to resize your image, if you want it bigger, if you want it smaller. But we also have like unified, like if you want to scale this in a more unified way, you just it like this, that's the work of the unified scale. Transform, sorry, it's like you can, maybe you want to fit. Actually, when I'm using this most of the times is, for example, I want to put a banner on a wall, or I want to put a sticker on a car, or maybe a vehicle. I use this one because it's more flexible, and I use these features here. I can warp it in any area I want. It's so easy to use, and it's better. You can see you can align your image to any other image you want. So that's the work of the unified transform. You can transform this in any way you want. It's more flexible. You can make this one lie on something like that, but we also don't want that, so we can just reset that and then cancel. Then the other one we need to do is rotate. Do we really want to rotate this? Oh well, when you're rotating, there is this one which marks the center. This thing here, where you can see my mouse, is the middle. It was there, but you can move it to other areas where you want the rotation to take as the middle. And then there is this that we, and then you just rotate. Remember, it's left click and hold, and then rotate the way you want. If I move this to this corner, for example, if I want this rotate for this point, I will just boom, and it will rotate item BP on that sign, and that's where the rotation will happen. Again, we don't want this, so again we will just Control Z to undo. We did several. Yeah, okay, we can undo again. Or maybe if you hadn't clicked on rotate, you can just click on reset and then leave. And that's the work of rotate. Then we go to shear, which is also almost like the unified. It's like the unified transform, but a little different. You can shear it in different signs, but you can shear it in all directions, just different signs, like that and like that. So that's the work of shear, which is also very nice, but we don't want it, so we can go there and then close. Alright, so I need to mention something. When in any moment when you're using a tool on this dock, there will also be some functions on top here. You can either use your mouse to do it here down here like me. You just left click and drag. But you can also use these ones here, which are more flexible. I rarely use them. I prefer to use my mouse because I feel the way image is moving. But you can also use this one by just left clicking and dragging. Right now I'm sharing on Y magnitude. You can also share on X magnitude, like that. Different axes. Alright, so I clicked on share, but I don't want that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Control Z to undo. Alright. So like I said, you can I'll show you again. Then we have flip. Flip will keep on flipping your image. I know it's flip left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So it's flip left and right, left and right, left and right. We also don't want that. So actually I wanna do something here. I want to flip this. Oh, sorry. Let's try to flip this too. Maybe we have used this one so much. Let's try to flip the second image here. One. See, because this one we could not see how it was flipped. It's like you move one side to the other side. So you flip from right to left. So the right side comes to left and the left side comes to right. So like that. I don't know if I have an image that. Oh, let's use this one. And this tomorrow, it's like that. Yeah, I think so. Let's come to this one. Right now you see this a small tiny mountain on this side, sharper mountain and more brand on this side. Let's say you want to bring this one to this side, so you just come here, then again select flip, and you can flip it like that. And now this sharper mountain is on the left, and no, on the right, and then the branch mountain or more ranch mountain is on the right. On the right, on the left. Right now it's on the right. The sharp one is on the right, and the brand one is on the left. But actually it was like this. So you flip from one side to the other. Okay. Another one is perspective, like that. It's also almost like unified. These are very powerful features, but I use these ones maybe when I want to, like I said, to up something. To maybe I'm making a packaging. These are very good for placing a design on a package. So for mostly when I'm creating some brand materials, I prefer to use these features so that I can just align my designs to the packagings, or maybe a wall, maybe a car, blah blah blah. So if you're into branding, the perspective, the warp tools, that is perspective, unified transform, also the 3D transform, and also shear will come in very handy. I will just go ahead and Remember, if you want to go ahead with what you have created here, if I want it to be like that, I'll just go ahead and click transform, or I can reset, or adjust. This will take me back one step. I don't want to do that, so just go ahead and maybe click on transform, and it will be like that, but I don't like it, so I'm just Control Z, and I have my original shape in place. Okay, the other thing that we are going to look at in the same panel within flip, we also did perspective. We have 3D transform. 3D transform is also almost similar, but it's also different. But actually it's more powerful because you can rotate this clockwise. This one is very nice. It gives you all the axes, that is X, Y, and Z. You can transform this or rotate this in Y, X, and Z axis like that. Like we saying, once you select a feature here, there will be a small window that will pop up here, and instead of using your mouse, instead of right clicking your mouse and dragging, that's what I'm doing right now, you can also use this these handles here and move them the way you want, like Y, rotate that on Y axis, X, rotate that on X axis like that, and then does it on the X axis. So it's up to you the way you want it, but we still don't want it to be like that. Remember, if you don't want it, you can just click on reset and then move, and or if you want it, if you're happy with what you did, you just click on transform. We still don't like it, so we are gonna undo it, which is Ctrl Z. Okay, handle transform. This one is like you create a handle somewhere, handle again, another handle here, another handle there and there. Those are enough. You can make more than those, and so if this one is it's like unified or maybe even blending, but this one you create your own custom handles. So for example, I'm gonna reset all them, and then I'm gonna create a handle. Yeah, let's say I create a handle there and another one on bottom here. Then if I move, that's my transform point to be the first handle, the two handles that I created. So I can also come in this handle and do like that. I can also create another handle there, and then you can see I'll be using the two handles, the two other handles, they will be my transformation point. So you can also use handle transform, where you create your own custom handles where you want them. Because I can also create another handle here maybe, and the other one here. You have to have two handles, one where you mark the center or marks your transform point, and the other one is the one you use to transform. It's all up to you, but we can reset and then leave. Alright, that's the work of all the transform. These are features, there are so many here. Try to play around with them, they are fun. Actually, GIMP is very fun. I love this software. The other one is warp and change. These are very advanced, and I don't think they are from beginners, but I'll also talk about them a little. They are not favorable for this image, but let's try something here. Let me see if they work. No, they doesn't. They are not favorable for this image. I'm just gonna go Ctrl Z. We shall talk about them in another video. So let's go. The other one is gradient. Okay, now these ones are different, a little small, a little different, but I'm still gonna talk about them. When you're drawing something, I'm gonna skip the bucket and gradient tool. Come on this side and just a little one step forward and talk about the brushes, also the drawing tools. What we have done up there is photo manipulation, but if you want to paint, also you can paint in GIMP. And right now you can see there's different features here, like I have paintbrush, I have pencil, and I have airbrush, ink, and my paintbrush. What this does is just what they say they do. They paint, you can draw with a pencil, we can airbrush, you can ink, and you can also paint. So let me try to show you that with something. We'll go ahead and create a new, same size, and right now I have this one, and this one. So right now this is a new workspace I have created right here, and I want us to use, remember now, if you're using paintbrush, you have to use brushes. Come here to Windows, then look for document dialogs, and then go to brushes. Okay, remember what I have done is Windows, document dialogs, then I go down and we have several options here. These are advanced, but I just want to talk about brushes for now. Brushes, click on, or you can use the shortcut Shift Control plus 8, no, plus B, sorry, Shift Control plus B, and then once you click on it, you will have this brush panel. And GIMP has so many brushes, but let's talk about the most basic brushes GIMP has, and let's talk about this one. Just draws. I'm using a mouse, so if I draw something and it just looks horrible, don't judge me. I'm simply using a brush. Now I want to talk about these two colors that I haven't spoken about since we started, and the color which is on the top is called the foreground color, and the color on the back is called the background color. The reason why I have this background in white is because the background color is white, but if I shifted it to red, this background color would have been white. Would have been, say, blend. Now since I am drawing on the foreground, if I draw, I will draw inland. Now like I said, we have the layer panel here. You can choose to draw on them sorry, you can choose to draw on the background like that, but most of the times I do not ever advise this, because now this one is stuck here, and even if you cross that one, it will disappear. The best thing you can do is create a layer for every aspect or every piece of drawing. If you are changing the brushes, it will be better if you want to change them later. For example, I will just go ahead and get a new layer there. I can choose this layer, I can name it, maybe I can name it 1, and then I will just click OK. To the side down here, what you have here is the color tags, which are not important. The mode will be normal. You can choose mode, which is the blending mode. You can choose the one you want, but let's keep it normal. And then maybe what do you want? The width, the height, these are these are the same as the workspace we have, and you shouldn't keep them like that unless you want it to be smaller. But right now I just wanted to keep it the same size as the canvas. It's more efficient. Okay, the fill color, let's see transparency. We don't want it to have any color, but you can also choose the color you want. We can choose the foreground color, the background color, white, transparency, or pattern if you want. For example, if you choose, like I said, these two colors is the foreground and this is the background color. Let's say we want to use the foreground color, which is red. If I choose the foreground color, which is red, and then click OK, this layer which I have created here is red, but I don't like it. I like it, but maybe you want it to be like that. So right now I have two layers. The first layer is the background, and the second layer is the layer we have created and named 1. But right now it's red because we chose this color to be red. We can have chosen any other color here that we would have wanted, but we chose red. So you can also choose a color you want, and I'll speak about this in a minute. But before that, I want us to create a layer that is has a transparent background, which doesn't have any color. It's a see-through layer, and to do that, we just go ahead and delete this one and create a new layer. Just remember to create a new layer. Down here there is a symbol that is like a square, a rectangle, and then has a plus sign, and it says create a new layer. Once you place the mouse cursor on top of it, create a new layer and add it to the image. And then to do that, you just click on them, then come here, you get this window to pop up, and then you can customize your layer the way you want it to be. Remember I said we have ready modes, but those are not how important is at this point. So just go ahead and the foreground color, I will choose the fill color. I'll say fill it with transparency, which means it will be a transparent layer. Then I'll click on OK. That's why now we have a layer here, but we cannot see it. Why? Because it's transparent, so we can see through it. Okay. Right now we have this thing we drew here. Right now, if you want to draw on the layer 1 which we have created, and maybe I want to draw a star, I'll just click on the star brush here. Remember, we are on the paint brush on this side. Paint brush is the one we are using, and then I choose a brush here, which is a star, and then just left click and drag like that. And now something you will notice, these things that I have drawn here, these ones are on the foreground layer. To prove that is that if I switch it off, they will disappear. So they are on the foreground layer and not on the background. So that's why you see if I switch off the background, they remain, but I still have them on the foreground layer. Okay, so that's it. And I'm just gonna go Control Z because I need to trash. So that's what you do with them, and these are so many brushes GIMP has, and then do different things. Like we can test a few of them. We can start with this one, which is the most basic one. And actually I also want to show you something because I want to show you something before we go ahead. Then we have something we call tool options. So again, go to Windows, talk about dialogs, and then look for tool options, which should be this one. All right, then we'll have these tool options here. Okay, I want to move it somewhere else. Where is it? Well, this is the tool options here, and you can change them. You can shift them from back and front. Right now, this remember the symbol for the tool options is here. Also, if you drag your mouse on top of it to show you the two, the other will be the brushes. So right now, let's say I want my mouse to my brush to be bigger. I just increase the size around here, like that. I can also increase its hardness, which right now it's 100, but if I want it to be not so hard, so you just play around with this. So right now I want a bigger brush maybe, and then remember the brush we are using right here, it's the big brush, and boom, see. And right now I'm using pen pressure, so that's why you are seeing if I start, if the hand I press my brush, the hand the thicker the line is. You can also choose another layer here, another brush. You see these brushes do different things. That's what I wanted to communicate. And if I change my foreground color here and maybe choose green there, and then okay, you see my browse color will change as well. Maybe I want to draw a moon. I want to make this one a little bigger. So I'm going to brushes and then that. So these brushes do different things, and it depends what you really want to draw. Just choose a brush that works for you and continue using it. Okay, well, this one draws a cucumber, doesn't draw anything else, but it's up to you what you really want to draw. So that's the functionality of brush. I don't want this video to be very long, so I'm going to rush through this because there are so many, we can talk about them all day. But I don't want us to stay here forever, so try to play around with brushes. They are very fun, and I'm sure you will enjoy them. Now, okay, so first allow me not to speak about pencil and brush editing at this point, but I will. Let me first talk about the eraser tool, because right now we have a lot of stuff here and I can erase them. So what eraser tool does, it's simply what it does, it erases. And remember, we have two options here, which I can come here and make it bigger so I can erase a little faster. And wow, you're not working for me, son. Oh, I make it smaller. I want it to be bigger. Okay, actually I won't go all the way. And what it does is just erase. Also, I need to mention something. The eraser brush is very good because it also uses the brushes. So right now I have a brush that looks like this, and that's why what you can see my hand is erasing something weird, like a pattern. So I have to come here to brushes and maybe choose the hand brush here, and then make it bigger again because it's too small. And then I can go ahead and then I'll make it more bigger. Allow me. Then I can go ahead and erase all this like that. So I will just go ahead and get this one out. Like that. But like that. Go ahead and erase everything. I can spend a lot of time on this, so I don't want to. That's the work of the eraser tool, is to erase stuff like that. So let's go back and talk about the pencil. Okay, the pencil as well uses the brushes, but it's more just like okay, let's go ahead and pick a brush that respects us. Then let's go ahead here and start. It's just like a brush, but it's different. Also a brush, this one is for coloring. They are different. I used pencil to make the outlines. Use the pencil to make outlines like that, and then I use the airbrush to color inside. I'm gonna make it bigger, allow me. Then I use the airbrush to color inside, or to fill in my own color that I want inside. Remember, I have pen pressure and I'm using my mouse, so that's why you can see the color. It's like it's misbehaving. It's simply because I am using pen pressure here, which is active. This one more advanced, but if you're using a tablet, you will need to have the pen pressure activated. So that's what I use airbrush for, like I said, is to fill in the color outside, and I use the pencil and the paintbrush to create the outlines. The paintbrush can also be used to color inside. It works the same. The next thing is scroll, hidden perspective. We can use them here because they are not. We use them somewhere else. I will show you in a minute. Okay, then we have sponge, blur, and dodge. Okay, and then we have the text tool, color picker. Okay, let's talk about color picker here. Okay, so I want to pick this color here. I will just go ahead. Okay, let's go back to our document here. We have this one here which has so many different colors, and we have the color picker here. What that does is that I can pick, if I want my foreground color to be maybe, let's say this red, and I want to come here to choose a color here. You just click on the color here. I want to change this one, so you just click on it and then choose the color you want here. Blah, 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 like that. So it's up to you to the color you want, set it, then click OK. So but maybe you don't want to do that, you just want to pick the color from the image, because maybe you don't know the hexagon or the exact color. So just use the color picker. I will just come here and do boom. Once I click on the image, the color will be reflected on my foreground. Maybe I want my background to be, I don't want my background to be white anymore. I want it to be okay, let's say this green, this light green here, or bush green, and boom, that's how that works. So you can pick colors from your image. Now let's go back to another feature we jumped here, which is clone, perspective clone, and heading. What clone means, okay, I'll go ahead and create a blank layer. Where is it? I'll go ahead and create a layer, and maybe let's have it to be transparent like that. It's there on the top. This one, let's pin it to the top. Come with me. If you want to arrange your layers, you just drag them around on the layers panel. Now on this layer, I want maybe to clone something from this image to the first layer. What I will do is, if you come here to the clone stamp, is Control C, and to clone something, you click on Control. Remember, it's Control on your keyboard, then select an area. Now the reason why you are seeing my brush looking funny, it's because of the brush I'm using here. But you can see I can because I'm using a very funny brush, but so okay, so let me pick a more decent brush before I use it. Alright, okay, now I have my round brush, and then I'm gonna make this one bigger. Okay, so what clone does, it's just clones a part of the image that you have. I don't know why it's not cloning right now. Okay, Control Z. Right now my clone tool is allowed in this area. So if I come on top here, I can depress the pixels below there with the clone tool like that. It's like I'm recreating the image using the clone tool like that. So it's simply cloning. just like the name, it's simply cloning the image. For example, I want to show you with a more realistic way. Maybe I want to clone this tree here. Okay, so I will come here on top, make this one smaller, because if it's smaller then better. So I'm going ahead and make it smaller, because the tree is not so large, that's so small, right? Okay, small again. I think that's fairly good. Then I'm going ahead and remember it's control, then select this area here. So right now it's selected from this point, and maybe I want to draw it here, so I'll just drag down once like that, and I have the tree on this side. The areas I don't want like this part, but if you are that's now this one calls for you to be more careful when cloning, because you can clone this you don't like. It's control then, so to be careful, just like that. I went too much. So that's the work of cloning. Maybe you want to clone something from this side to this other side. That's how you do your cloning. So you start from this point here and you clone it. To just left click, drag to the area you want to clone the area to. Alright, I don't want it to be there, so for me it's just Ctrl Z, and then let's go to the next one, which is perspective clone. This one is a little more different. I don't want to use it, it's more complicated, and like I said, this video is from beginners, so we're gonna skip that, and then we're gonna keep it like that. Okay, so we have spoken about all these features. The last one here we haven't spoken about is zoom. If you want to zoom and unzoom, I don't want to do that at this point, but is zoom and unzoom. If you want to make this one bigger or smaller, it's up to you. Like that, like that, like that. Right now I'm clicking on Control on my keyboard and zooming, but you can also zoom using this part here, but it's up to you. I don't want to zoom so much. I want to keep it the way it was so that we can see everything. Alright, now we have spoken about all these features on this doc, but now the other features here on top. The first one we spoke about it is creating a new document, creating a document from a keyboard or a home page or a scanner camera or a screenshot. You can also open an image. You can also open as a layer, which will be added here. You can also open from a location or special location. You can also open from your recent document. I know I won't show you my recent document, but this one is among them. Then you can save this image. It will be saved as a GIMP image. You can also save as. Here you get to select an array of formats. It's up to you which format you want to save it as. We also have save a copy. Saving a copy means you won't be saving it here, but it will be saved as a separate document, and it will be different from this one. So it's like you will have two documents now. So if you save this one, if you save as a copy, remember to always save this, because if you save a copy and then close your document, you only have the copy, but you will not have the original document. You can export as. Exporting is like just export as an image. Remember here you can save as a document, you can save as a PDF, but here you can only save as a PNG. You can only export as a PNG or in a raster format, PNG, JPEG, blah blah blah. Export. This one you export and exporters do the same thing, but a little different, because here you export as a PNG or a JPEG, but on top there you export as a PNG. And this one is like the quick export feature. Also, you can use the shortcuts, which you can see on the right side. You can Control N is save a Control N. Control plus N is open a new document. Blah blah blah. All this you can use in shortcuts. I really use shortcuts. I don't know why. You can create a template if you don't really want to always come here and create your new template. It's up to you. But I really create templates. I like using different. Maybe it's because I don't do a lot of repetitive work, but if you really work, if maybe you work for a company and you keep on making maybe business cards and they are always the same size, you can create a template and always create from a new template. Alright, so the other one is page setup. Maybe this page, maybe I want to set up this page for print. This one is the way how you come back and set up the page so that they can be ready for printing. If you are designing for print, then you can print this, will send it to your printer. You can cross view, that means it will only cross this part. You can also cross all. If you cross view, you will cross only this document. If you cross all, you will cross this one. You will cross this document and this one, because I have to open. Alright, the other one is quit, and you will cross the whole software. So the whole of it will be closed, and you will have to open it again if you need to use. The next one is edit. Here is where you undo from our recent actions. You can come here and undo. For example, the last one is we moved the floating selection, but the reason why it's called floating selections is because I haven't given it a name here, but I can go ahead and get a layer. And if I come on top here to edit, you see I can undo or redo, and the shortcut to undo is Control Z. The shortcut to redo, okay, for example, Control Z, Control Z, it's sorry. It's called here. Control Z is undo, Control Z, and to redo is Control Y. Okay, then you can undo history to see the whole history of what you have undone and redone. Okay, the next one is cut. If you really want to cut something, it's Control X, copy visible, paste. You can paste in place. What this means is that okay, let's do something here. Sorry, we are in Zoom. It's really cold here right now. Okay, I'm gonna zoom this back. Okay, let's go. We are in Zoom, that's why it's zoomed. Okay, we were talking about copy and paste in place and cut. So right now we have this one which is selected, this one which is selected here. So maybe I want to cut it, is Control X, cut. Remember, it's also normal from other functions on your PC. Cut is almost the same as copy. The difference is when you copy, you still have the other copy remaining, but if you cut, everything goes away. So to paste in place, like we see in here, if you want to paste exactly where it was here. What if you want to paste it exactly here is you come here and maybe paste in place. The shortcut is Control Alt and V, and boom, it will go exactly to the same place it was. That was paste in place means paste into selection. Let's make a selection here, like an eclipse selection that we did, if you still remember, like that. And now it's saying paste in selection. So to do that is you have to, okay, let's use the background. So this is a selection and we want to paste in selection. Remember here, okay, wait, paste in selection, and boom, it will be pasted inside the selection. Did we really want that? Maybe. Did we really not? I'm gonna keep it. Then I will move it to the top. Control Z. Keep it there. Alright. What else have we spoken about? The fill color, background color. We spoke about the fill with background color. You can fill with foreground color, fill with a pattern, fill with outline selection. These are more advanced. The rest, what we have here, we don't need it. Maybe we'll need the unit. This will open a new window and you can change the units from pixels to centimeters or millimeters or even points. It's all up to you, really. I really use this. So the next thing I want us to talk about, okay, we have spoken about edit, and then we can use select. Right now we have something selected here, and it's this part. This one is open now. Took a lot of time. I was talking about you can change this. Right now I'm using pixels, but you can also change to centimeters, meters, feet, and topography. You can also use as topography because it's up to you. Most of the times I stick with points or millimeters, but most of the times if you find me using this, I use pixels because they are more straightforward. always use pixels, but if you ask to use feet, you can use feet. Centimeters, I didn't get asked to use centimeters, but I use pixels. They are the industry standards. I'm gonna cross that. I don't need it. We were talking about select. Right now I have something selected and it's this part, but I can also select all of them, and right now everything is selected, but maybe I don't want that, so I'm gonna go ahead and unselect. I can also select none. Right now nothing is selected except the layer. That's why you can see this one. But if I go Control Z, you see the selection is back. Sorry, this is a selection. It was circular, this one, but right now I can say I don't want to select anything, and then I can come here and say none. You can so that's it, and the others are inactive because nothing is selected. But if I go Control Z and select again, they will be active. Okay, to deselect is Control Z. To unselect, to select, you okay, what am I saying? I'm saying that the other options have been active. Now what this means is you can make this one to feather. These are not, they are not beginner friendly, but I will speak about the feather one, which means that if you use feather, you can increase this one to whatever size you want, and the selection will be more faded on the sides. I don't know if this can be visible on this image. Where are you? It's not very much visible because this image is not very good for selection. I'll try to speak about this one on another more advanced video about the select tools, but let's talk. The most important one is select all, select none, invert, float, and then you can select by color, like we did down here when we are using fuzzy, or select by color. View, these are more advanced as well. You can rotate this. You can rotate this workspace. You can show all, you can show some, you can show greens, you can show rulers. It's up to you. You can snap. This is all about customizing this workspace. For example, if I want to zoom by 50, maybe I want to revert zoom, maybe I want this to fit in window, for example. Like I said, all these features are for the view. What you can see right now, if I want to flip this or rotate, I cannot flip it, and boom, it's flipped. But let's use something more drastic, like view, go back to view, and maybe we want to rotate by clockwise 90 degrees, and boom, it rotates everything on the canvas. That's the work of the view, and it just customizes your all workspace or the all canvas. Control Z, we don't want it to be like that. Control Z. Then and now we have a problem because we can't rotate. We can't use Control Z to go back. So the only thing we can do is go back to view and then rotate this within 90 counterclockwise. Let's do clockwise. Boom, and then back to what we had. So that's the view. It just customizes the whole canvas or the whole workspace. The next thing is image. Here you have a lot of things that you can work with. You can change the color mode to RGB, grayscale, or index. This grayscale is black and white, index is more complicated, it's for painting. Color management, you can transform by flipping vertically, rotate clockwise. We have done that. Canvas size, you can change the size of this canvas. Remember, the canvas is the white area, and it's where you're supposed to do. So you can change the canvas. You can fit the image to canvas. Sorry, you can fit canvas to the layer. Maybe this layer, you want this canvas to fit this layer, for example. You just fit it to them. These are more complicated, and you didn't need them. They are just more complex, and we will talk about them, but I'm just gonna go through them. You can also adjust the print size. You can scale the image. We already done those when using the scale. So the other one is layer. Here you can create a new layer. Remember, you can also create a new layer down here, but you can also create it on top here. And the shortcut to create a new layer is Shift Control and N. Okay, you can also create a layer from the visible. You can create a layer that's like duplicating a layer. And you can also create a group layers around here. Can group layer, but when you create a layer from the visible, it means it will have the same when you create a layer from visible, it will have the same specifications. Remember when we were creating a new layer here, we got something like this, but if you create a layer from visible, it will use the previous settings from the image from the layer which is visible. So it will use the same settings here as the layer you are creating it from. So that's why you can see right now visible is cancelled. Alright. What do I want over here? You can group layers if you want. I really group layers, but it's very important if you have so many layers, and it makes your layer panel more neat, if I have to say. Then you can duplicate a layer. Just got to duplicate a layer. It's Shift Control and D. You can merge layers if you want. You can also delete a layer. All this not important. So these all of them are more fancy and you really don't need them. Now let's talk about color. And this one is very important. Actually, if you're doing photography, I'm gonna select this one here. It's our main image, the big one, and then I'm gonna talk about color. Color, you can change color temperature, you can hue and chroma. Let's play around with hue and saturation. We are on this image here, the middle one. So let's go back to colors and color balance. You can balance this color the way you want. So it's really up to you. These are more complex stuff, but there's things that a beginner would like to do. So you can change these colors. You can also split the view so that you can see the original image and the older image. And like that, you're able to compare and see if you are destroying your image or you're making it better. But I don't want us to change the I don't want us to change the color balance, so we're just gonna no. The other one is the color temperature. Do we have a split view in this one? Yeah, we have. Okay, we split and then we see what this does. It just change the temperature. Maybe you want it to be something like that. I like the one. Looks better and I like it. Then I'm gonna click OK, but no, I don't want to. But let's click OK and see for once. Look at that image changed to be nice, right? And it gives a different feel on the image, but we don't want to keep it within our original, so it's Ctrl Z. Okay, the other one is okay, hue and saturation. This one I am trying earlier. This one is awesome. Oh, look. Okay, you can change colors. Maybe also this one is more flexible. Let's first reset. This one you can choose different colors that you want to change. Maybe I want to change the lens. I will select lens, and then if I move the hue, it's only the lens that will be modified. You can see all the other parts are not touched, just the lens. I can also choose the yellows. Yellows, there are these parts, and if I move this, you see it's only the yellows that will be modified. Maybe I want to change which other color we have. We don't have a lot of colors. Maybe greens. We don't have a lot of it, but we have some. Like that. Okay, so I don't want to change my image, so I'm just gonna cancel or reset to 0 and then cancel. Okay, that's the colors. These are the ones that are really used by people. You can also change saturation, but and exposure, but one that I really use all the times is curves and levels. And let's start with curves. When you move this line like this, you can make it more, you can change the curves and play around with it. Get a very fantastic result with this one. So up to you. This more fancy and breathtaking, you know. So what I'm doing here is more advanced, but it's amazing how you can play around with curves and get something amazing. So it's all so up to you. You can also split the view. This the earlier part, this is the older part. Then go ahead and make it darker. So up to you. And I also think levels work almost the same as curves. A little different, but almost the same. because okay, let's split the view again, and looks almost the same, no much difference, but I like to play around with curves. It's more it's more fun to use the curves to change well, the lighting of your design. All these others are not very important, and I'm gonna skip it for this video, but please remember to subscribe so that we can work on their on more advanced features. All right, now tools, we have the selection tools. We also have them here, remember, but we also have them here in one place. Where are they? Tools, selection tools, and we have rectangle, select tool, we have eclipse, frame, foreground. Okay, we have foreground, we have fuzzy, we have bicolor or intelligent scissors. Paint tools, we will see all of them in one place, and they are bucket, gradient, pencil, paintbrush, eraser, airbrush, ink, my paint, chrome, heel, perspective, chrome, brush, sharpen, smudge, and don't, all in one place. And you just come on them and select them, or use their shortcuts, which are very easy. Like gradient is just G, pencil is just N, paintbrush is just P, eraser is Shift plus E, airbrush is A, blah 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 blah. I really use shortcuts. I usually like to use the whole software and goes, but if you really are a fan of shortcuts, go ahead and grab your memorize them, and GIMP is so fun. Okay, then we have transformation tools. Remember, if you don't want to use this part, you just come to tools here. Transformation tools, we have align, move, crop, we have rotate, scale, shear, perspective, 3D transform, unify, handle transform, flip, change, warp, transform, all these are in your disposal. Remember, you have to count all of them, and it should be fun to use them. So let's talk about the other two. We have spoken about much of these tools, so let's now talk about the filters. We have different filters in GIMP. There are so many of them. You have artistic filters. All these you can use them. This would drastically change your image. For example, I just want to talk about one of them, and maybe we can use artistic, and then maybe choose something like cartoon. The one people like the most. You can also use split view, and then if you change it, change your image. It doesn't work on all images, so it's up to you to see if it will work. It doesn't work, so I'm gonna cancel. Then and select none. Actually, nothing is selected, but I'm gonna grab this layer here. Then I'll go ahead and go back to filters. Then we were using artistic, then we were on cartoon. Alright, okay, then we are going to choose split view and mask filter. If I'm going to keep on changing this, then maybe take black further, percentage black, and then so they're also powerful if you want to use them. Then if I click OK, my image will have more like animated, more cartoonish, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. All these filters do different things, so it's up to you. Let's try another one here. What the pixels maybe. Okay, then split the view again, and then drag this, just play around with them and whatever you're looking for is so again. And if I split view, this is our image, the original image, and this end is where the filters is affecting. Again, I know, like this one, all filters have different styles. Like now, I have almost, like I said, filters do drastic things on your image, so work with them carefully. Don't destroy your image only when you're about to complete it. I think I've been able to cover almost all features a beginner needs to see in GIMP or to use. I know I'm sure you are able to get started, and I hope I have helped you get a smooth start with GIMP. If you have any questions, please send me a message or leave a comment, and I will respond as fast as I can. Please remember to subscribe and leave a thumbs up, and I'll be happy. So thank you so much for watching, and like always, see you the next time.